back to day number 2. How many show of hands feel like it feels longer than just day number 2? Yeah, by tonight you'll forget what month it is. It's good. It's like going to Vegas, only you're not fucked out of your mind in that way. Okay, so I said somebody run up here and want to share something. Here you go. Stand up. Now's your shot. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Willie Dengler. I'm from Sacramento, California.
Okay, what do you got?
That was tough for me to watch.
Okay, talk more about it.
I'm a fire control technician from nuclear submarines. I served for 8 years, originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I went through some really tough shit. Your videos spoke to me in a deep way. Mm-hmm. I went through a ton of child abuse whenever I was a kid. My mom tried to kill me. I died of a drug overdose when I found her stashed as a little boy. Went through a shit ton of child abuse before she killed herself, and I went in the military at 17. And I was over there from 98 to 2006. I was with the USS Cole when 17 of my brothers from Pearl Harbor were killed. My dad was in the World Trade Centers as a fireman on 9/11 as I was retaliating and planning missile strikes for the next fucking 8 years of my life.
Pause. 2 clip. Boom. 2 clip. Boom. 2 clip. Boom. Continue.
Sorry.
Don't
Heavy
apologize.
shit.
Continue.
So, for me personally, that triggered me up there seeing
I hope it did. What did it trigger?
I'm an initiated man. I've been through the shit. I've been to the fucking barrels. When I was in the military, this is the truth that I don't know that I've ever told in front of a large group of people.
Okay,
when I was in the military, I'd fucking, anything I could jam into my system to smash the pleasure button, I would. Whether it was
Hold that microphone up.
Whether it was ecstasy, fucking pussy, alcohol, drop-top Camaros, ninjas, fucking whatever I could do to feel good, I did. So that's why your video spoke to me. I knew that depth of pain.
Okay.
But I pulled myself through it after a long fucking time of digging deep and soul searching and reading books and being honest with my brothers.
And what triggered you?
It's tough for me to see guys get yelled at in their face and be, fucking Mr. Miyagi and, guys being fucked with about their hair and shit like that. I've been trained by some of the best men in the world, real mentors.
Why does this trigger you?
I don't know. I think it's tough for me to see guys go through that.
You don't know. This is our interesting dilemma. We get triggered, we get uncomfortable, and as men, immediately like, fuck that guy. You know how many people said, fuck that guy to me before they ended up in Warrior? All of them. So the hard part about triggers, which by the way, I'm super, super proud of you, right? You ran up, I said no, and then you got to deal with that. And now here we are having a conversation in front of everybody.
Not exactly what I was hoping for.
Of course, because when we're triggered, we also like to isolate into a small conversation. See, a Warrior, we don't allow that. Because the problem with going to a therapist is not going to therapy. The problem with going to a therapist is then there's you and one other person who you can be you in front of. But then you walk out of therapy and you still got to fucking hide all the shit you're hiding. The reason all this triggers you is because in the military, they trained you not to feel. This is why most special forces, most hardcore military men who come to Warrior wash out in the first 2 weeks of the pre-training to Warrior Week. These same men I could throw out of a fucking plane with a butter knife in the middle of any country and they'd fight their way out, but give them to talk about the shit they've had to go through before they went to the military and when they were in the military and the reason why they're on divorce number 3 and the reason why 22 or more fucking killing themselves every single fucking day, and everybody wants to talk about the problem, but the minute they get triggered by seeing this, which is why it works for a man like you, because this viscerally triggers a decade of your training. It makes you fucking shake. You remember every drill sergeant, every person who's ever gotten in your face. But what's different here is we're not training you to go to war with someone else. We're training you for the very first time to deal with the shit underneath. What you were feeling was not Mr. Miyagi. It wasn't hair. It wasn't about black men. It wasn't about any of that. What you were experiencing was you being exposed. And you just shared parts of it. And so now you're less exposed, which in the beginning feels really fucking uncomfortable. But then you share it in front of 1,000 people. Yeah, take a deep breath. So, question, hearing these things that he shared, what is your first name again, brother?
Willie.
Willie. The first things, these things that Willie shared, how many of you stand up if you feel less about him as a man? Look around. Willie, look around. Okay, now you may not know Willie at all, but having Willie share the facts of his past, both the ugly shit and the stuff he's proud of, he shared it all in about 90 seconds. Not all of it. I'm confident you and I could sit for fucking 2 weeks and we would just keep pulling new stuff out and we would talk more and more about it. And if we try to do that in 2 weeks, you'd fucking kill yourself. Legitimately. There's a gestational process. Warrior takes time. You don't just fucking dig into the dark and to pull that shit out. You will kill yourself. Not even in theory. You will fucking kill yourself. I warned one of our strategic partners, I don't go that fucking deep, bro. You have seen some dark shit. Military, I said, slow the fuck down. Give yourself a few years with this. He went too deep, too fast, shot himself in the garage. So you're starting down this path. How many of you, knowing what you just know now about him, actually have more respect for him as a man? Stand up. Willie, move to the stage. Willie, move to the stage. Walk all the way down my catwalk to the middle. Okay, stop right there. Don't look at me, look at them. Take your hat off. Gentlemen, when I say move, you will simply say, I see you. Move.
I see you.
Move.
I see you.
Move.
I see you.
Move.
I see you.
When I say move, you will say thank you. Move.
Thank you.
Move.
Thank you.
Move.
Thank you.
Move.
Thank you.
2 clap. Boom. 2 clap. Boom. 2 clap. Boom.
Thank you, guys.
Stay there. Okay, now what are you feeling?
Overwhelmed is an understatement.
Okay, don't go to comedy. What are you feeling?
A lot of power.
Okay, and that power did not come until you got what? Starts with a T, ends with a rigor.
Triggered.
I should trigger some of you fuckers in here. You got triggered. So here's what we know at Warrior. If I talk to you nicely in the language you're used to, you don't get this. So Coach Sam, myself, and the entire team of elite trainers here, some ex-military, some not, professional athletes, some not, some big business, some not. We've all gone through the same shit. We start to find out. It's crazy. I'll sit down with all the SEALs that we do stuff with Navy SEALs Fund. They look at what I do in business and they're like, I don't know how the fuck you do this. And I'm like, dude, I don't know how the fuck you like take a toothpick and kill 12 people. I don't understand that shit either. And so we sit and recognize across the line that in the end, we're actually all afraid of the same shit. So Coach Sam and I are willing to say what is required. It took years for us to get to a place where we were comfortable enough with ourselves that we could for a moment say some shit that would unleash such rage inside of you that you may go to physical violence with us, and we're okay with that. And I've had it. Big ass men, small men, doesn't matter. But the difference here is we're not here beating you down. We're here opening a door to let you set yourself free. And most of the associations you have do not have the courage to push those buttons, except for your wife. And you've got her locked in a little box because you talk fast and you're smart and you're fucking a guy, and so you're just like this dude who can control your woman. Some of you might be the other way, and I understand that too. So here we're committed to one thing, which is results. We'll do what's fucking required for you to get them. We'll say what's required for you to get them. Political correctness is not our stand. How many of you are very clear of this? Raise your hand. So, go like this, 2 hands, put them up. That's what we feel about political correctness. This is politically correct for us. Some of you are uncomfortable just doing this. Get your fucking fingers up. Let's go. If you can't do this shit, fuck you for having it all. Good luck. This is why I love my super intensely religious people. Because they're like, I'm gonna do what's required. I'm gonna have it all. And then I say fuck or raise your birdies up. And they're like, and I understand it because I used to be that same fucking guy. I was spiritual as fuck in my head and disconnected in my heart. Because no matter what happened, I got triggered. So I was only as spiritual as you didn't trigger me. Then you triggered me, I judged the fuck out of you self-righteously as a hypocrite and compelled you to fucking hell because I couldn't handle your darkness because I couldn't fucking handle mine. So we put our birds up here to political correctness. We also put the fucking birds up here just to say fuck you to the way things are outside. When I say move, we'll say fuck you. And we're going to say it right to Willie. And we're just going to be here together saying fuck you to your stories. You get to have 2 hands up. I need you to have the whole experience. 1 birdie's not the same as 2. You want to get fancy, throw your thumbs in it. You could throw your thumbs in it. All right, here we go. Move.
Fuck you.
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 Turn and look at somebody next to you. Let's go, Willie. You and me. Move. Fuck you. Move. Fuck you. Move. Fuck you. Move. Fuck you. Come with me. Come on, Willie. That's like I'm saying fuck you with my 8-year-old. This is not working. You just gave me the big, I need like the 8, I need my military man. Let's go, bring that shit, son. Come on. Here, wake your brother up for a second. Give him a little, ha-ha. Give him a little ha-ha. All right. Okay, here we go. Instead of raising him way up, you're just gonna put him right here, like 90 degrees, right in his face. Let's go, hands up with him. Nice. See, those are authority birdies right there. Those are birds of authority. Here we go. Move. Fuck you. 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 Now here's the crazy part. Look at the guy in front of you. Don't stop. Look at him. Understand that you're telling yourself to fuck off. That's the coolest part about this game. Is that men inside this brotherhood will say what they have to say to trigger the fuck out of you in a different way. And then you're going to want to say fuck you to that man, only to recognize that man gave you the greatest fucking gift you could have ever had. Now hug it up and have a seat.
Nice to be here with you.
Good shit, bro. Well, Right. Well, I guess it's you. Stand up. Okay, what's your name? Where you from?
Josh Peters from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay, perfect. Josh, what are you getting? What did you just see happen?
I just saw a man bare his soul in front of everybody and grow in power and strength and have a chance to tell his stories to fuck off.
Okay, awesome. What you saw was William paint the outside of a small piece of a door. William didn't set himself free. William just feels the power it feels like to recognize there's a fucking door with a shitload of darkness behind. And there's power in just acknowledging, listen, inside of you is a place that you don't want to go. You don't want to go there. I get it. I didn't want to go there. The cool part about it is that place, once you open that door and you clear that room, there's another what? There's another fucking door. So the game never ends. It's not like you're going to get to this place and all of a sudden it's going to end. I thought that would be the case. William's got years and years. A decade from now, William will be in a very different place. But he'll be in a very different place just today with what he's done. And that's the cool part, is it's a process. It's a gestation. This is why events like Warrior Week are so necessary. Because you just don't get triggered the same. Here in this room, you can hide. Warrior Week, you can't hide. There's 11 trainers and 24 men. You can't fucking hide. There's no hiding. Which means you're going to get power. Or you're going to quit. Now what are you hearing me say?
I'm hearing you say that there's a lot of depth to our stories.
Okay.
And
what else?
It makes you got to dig into it and keep going. Like,
okay.
You can think that, like me, I come here and I think, oh, I know my stories. And yet every time we do one of these guys are up on the stage and I'm scared shitless that I might find out more stories are there or be exposed like we all experience.
Beautiful. Okay, I want you to watch this. This is a huge principle. Right? The reason why I won't collide with Wayne, decade, bro, Park City, decade. The reason I won't collide with individuals is because I am fearful that if I collide with this man, that he will do the same to me, and in so doing, expose me. So what the lie becomes and what the bullshit game becomes is I just have this unspoken agreement with my social circle, which says, I'm not going to say shit to you. You don't say shit to me. There was what she was telling my wife, but there's what my wife and I and the whole brotherhood knew was really going on. Well done. Painful as fuck, Chad, but well done. But we collide driven by a desire to help you see. But when you have no fear of being exposed, you become the most lethal man in a conversation. There ain't shit you're gonna find out about me. Google it, look it up on YouTube, read it in a book. I put it out there. And every day I figure out there might be something else that I uncovered that I didn't know about. I immediately do what? I put it online. Why? Because then you got fucking nothing. Now you gotta go toe to toe with me with the fucking truth, and you're a fucking liar, which means I own you all goddamn day. Now, you link that up to business, this crazy thing happens. All of a sudden, negotiations and sales, which is a conversation of communication and influence and persuasion, you become a walking lie detector. You sit in negotiation, high-level negotiation is about energy. It's about understanding what the other person is doing or not doing by what they're feeling and the energy they're pushing. They're saying all the right shit, but their energy is telling you something different. How do you know when to close? Energy. Not scripts, energy. Energy hits a certain peak, moves into another cadence, you move into a commitment. But if you're a fucking liar and a manipulator, you'll be taken by liars and manipulators. And so we don't expose. It feels very uncomfortable for us. This is why inside of Revolutions, I have in the past, I brought in new trainers. I beat the fuck out of myself for years. I've submitted myself to the most intense, excruciating physical training and beat down deliberately. Some by myself with 3 very intense drill sergeant trainers to beat the fuck out of me for days and days and days, shove me in and out of fucking ice buckets till I cannot fucking breathe, until I cannot even conceive what will happen next. And I do this and I require trainers to, because see, once I know and have experienced the pain, then I know how far to push you. But if I'm scared to go to the place that you're going, or I start to push you to a place that I've never been, then I'm going to do stupid shit that men typically do, which is you start to express some emotion, then I get uncomfortable. You're starting to go to your dark place. I'm worried I'm going to get exposed. You start talking about your shit. I'm worried my wife's going to find out about mine. So then I will create the big fucking cover-up. And I'll start to tell you, it's okay, bro, it's all right, she's a bitch, she's this, yada, yada. See, cheaters support other cheaters. Men of integrity in marriage don't support other cheaters. They might get it. I was one, I get it. So when I see one, I'll just straddle. I just ask, I'm like, so how long you been cheating? Or for my guys that are like in a culture where they don't believe in cheating at all, like it's not even an option, and the idea of looking at pornography is cheating, and see right through those guys too. But that comes with an ability to actually own the truth in you. If I don't own the truth in me, I have no power. Hence, everything I'm looking for is a sales script. I'm looking for the right stacking frames. I'm trying to figure out the magic science to marketing, the magic science to selling. In the land of liars, the truth is a declaration of war. But the coolest part about this declaration of truth and this declaration of war polarizes humanity. And inside of that, when you share vulnerable truth talked about by Damien yesterday, all of a sudden you don't go knocking the same way. My ads hit you differently because I'm not talking about some fucking theory. I'm not telling you some story. Guys like Zig Ziglar were amazing. They were amazing. But everything was awesome. Lego movie. Everything is awesome. Everything that fucking guy talked about was awesome. Because that was a generation of trainers who taught in a world where everything was awesome. Everything was not awesome, by the way. But that was what was popular. And so there's a new ushering in of businessmen who are saying, listen, this story of perfection has to end. I'm not fucked up. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out this game called being married, having kids, building a business. I'm not fucked up. I'm just trying to fucking figure it out. But up to this point, we've been doing this alone. So we're left to our own ideas. Sometimes we got great ones. Other times, not so great. So if I'm not willing to expose myself, then I get very uncomfortable in a situation where other people are being exposed. Because I sit in the audience hoping that I'm not next. So some of you sat here this morning and you're like, fuck me. Did he just say that? People are like, Coach Sam's a racist. I was like, Coach Sam's the everything. Like, he's like the comedian that will just fucking blast everybody. Gay, straight, black, white, Asian, short, fat, tall, Mormon, non-Mormon, Catholic, Buddhist, doesn't matter. If you're in the room, you're getting blasted. How many of you have seen a comedian like this? Like, nobody's safe, and then it makes it funny. It's weird. I've been in those rooms. When they're just picking on one group, it's not as fun. But you'll be in a room where it's like everybody, all of a sudden everyone in the room is very uncomfortable at first, and then everybody in the room kind of starts laughing together, and they're like, shit, we all are kind of the same idiots, aren't we? Inside a warrior, we don't care what color your skin is. We don't care what religion you're part of. We don't care if you're part of no religion. We don't give a shit. The one thing that fell in the foundation of this game, the value of warriors, do you live by the code? No matter how ugly it is. And this is what men are searching for, which is how can I be honest? That's why William got triggered. But William didn't know what to do with this, so William ran up to me when he was supposed to be sharing with his buddies and wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with me, which is a start. But what he wanted to have a conversation about was trying to understand why he was feeling so confused, but that's not what he was going to say. What he was going to say was he was offended. If you want to be a powerful businessman who's married with children, will you have to become okay with being offended? Will you have to become a yes or no?
Yes.
How often? Every day or just once in a while?
Every day.
Every fucking day. Like you're going to be offended every day. How many of you know, as a marketer who uses any form of advertising online, that you are going to have people talk shit no matter what? Raise your hand. Hands down. In the beginning, I thought it was just me. I was like, they just don't like me. Then I started realizing anybody who's ever created anything of significance has just as many people who fucking hate them as they do people who love them. Barack Obama's president, half the country loves him. Half the country hates him. A couple million people want to kill him. President Trump becomes president, half the country loves him. Half the country hates him. 7 million people want to kill him. Like, it doesn't change. It doesn't fucking change. You have a black man, you have a white man, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter race, religion, the same shit happens to everybody. There are people who will never fucking like you. There are people who will take on their entire purpose in life is to rally other people to not fucking like you. And on the flip side of that is a tribe of people waiting for who? You. The way you say shit, the way you talk about shit in your vulnerable truth, the way you speak it, they're waiting for you. But if every time I get triggered, I retreat, or I think it's the other person, well, it's your fault. You shouldn't talk that way. You shouldn't say it that way. That's offensive. Or maybe, shit, I'm offended as fuck right now. I'm angry as fuck. This might take me a whole day to come down off it. I'm going to stack the shit out of this like 5 times and figure out why I'm so fucking triggered. Because if I continue to be this triggered on this topic, when I walk into a place, I no longer can think from a place of power. And as a businessman, if you cannot get over your fucking emotions, you will make ridiculously stupid decisions. There is a place of truth in the facts beyond your feelings. But our feelings become indicators of those facts. Now what are you hearing me say? There was a lot. Just pick one.
That truth will set you free.
Okay?
That.
Let's shift that. Instead of truth will set you free, the problem is truth has this idea that somehow you're going to find it, and then it won't have to be found again. This is why I don't like that. I just made a post about this yesterday late. The truth will set you free. It's biblical inside of the Christian faith. The truth will set you free. You're like, okay, cool, I get that. But there's a problem the way we think about that, which is somehow I'm going to find the truth and then I'm going to hold on to the truth forever. Well, here's who I am. Well, that's who you are now. A year from now, if you do the work, you won't be that guy anymore, which means the truth today is simply the facts. So I want you to alter that statement from the truth will set you free, because the truth is constantly evolving for you. How many of you understand this to be true? Raise your hand. Hands down. How many of you found that being in business for 5 years, that what you thought was true in your first year is radically different in year 5? Raise your hands. Hands down. How many of you had a story about being married? There was a truth. You were single. You were dating. You had a story of truth about being married. And then 7 years into marriage, that truth might have evolved a little bit. Raise your hands. Okay? It just gets different. So the facts in Warrior, the facts will set you free. Because the truth is constantly becoming something different for you. And people will start to get into debates with me about this. They're like, no, there's eternal, non-changing truth. And I was like, okay, I can appreciate that. Here's my non-unchanging truth, my eternal experience of non-changing truth. One, that I am who I believe I am. I'm not who you believe I am. I'm who I believe I am. And that who I am today is going to be dead to who I will be a year from now because of the second thing I know to be true, which is the purpose of my life is expansion. It's not perfection. Be ye therefore perfect, another phrase that fucked me up too. So here I was, the truth will set me free, but the truth I thought was something I would find and then it would just be there and then I owned it and then I could be right and you could be wrong. And then the second piece was, inside of this idea, the truth will set me free, was be ye therefore perfect. And I'm like, well, what the fuck does this mean? And my story of perfection was to do it right. So then I started playing scared instead of playing as a businessman, a married man, as a man, from a different frame, which is I am who I believe I am. And that belief is constantly evolving. Second, that the purpose of my life isn't to get somewhere, it's to expand. Which means I must become more today than I was yesterday. We do this by living a warrior's way. We core four every single day. We stack every single day. We general's tent every single week. 1 door, 4 keys. We play quarterly targets with impossible games with 30-day and 60-day benchmarks. We lap all this shit down into all 4 domains of life: body, being, balance, and business. And from this place, I weaponize myself. And in 1 month, you won't see a difference. In 2 months, you'll start to notice something. In 3 months, you'll start to see some things are changing. In 12 months, you'll see me at an event, and I will be unfucking recognizable to you. Within 2 years, you'll go, I don't understand how you did this. Within 3 years, you'll be like, what the fuck? You'll be buying tickets to my events. Within 5 years, you'll simply be telling people you used to know me. And within 7, I just become a fucking icon while you stay stuck in a goddamn cul-de-sac. Raise your hands if you know what I'm talking about. There are men inside this room right now who ran with me 10 years ago. Trust me, the man I am today, you don't fucking know this guy. And I don't know you. I know about who you used to be. The cool part here is, Inside Warrior, I could meet you and hang out with you today and know you in this moment by your facts. And I know that if you do the work a month from now, you're going to show up and we're going to have to get to know each other again. I'm not going to know you. I'm going to know of you, but then I'm going to get a chance to get to know you again. All right, motherfucker, what did you do this time? Dude, I unlocked this door, this door, this door. My life went here, here, and here. I finally figured this shit out. I slayed this addiction. I dealt with this shit. I finally had the shift that I was looking for. And you don't even have to tell me because I can see it in your fucking eyes. You walk in the room. You walk in with a band of brothers, our Empire Mastermind group. You walk in with the Kingdom Brothers inside of Warrior, beyond the gates of Warrior Week. And you walk in and it's different. And you won't find that same shit because there's not the bravado and there's not the bullshit. And there's this willingness to go straight to the conversation of, hey, where the fuck you at, man? And just like William demonstrated, it's a straight conversation. Here's where I am. So what's my secret to marketing? The what will set me free?
The facts will set me free.
And I've learned how to take those facts and share them in a very compelling way. Why is my copy so solid? Because my copy is literally a copy of my own pain. I know myself, and so because I do, I can know you. Write that shit down. I know myself. And because I do, I can know you. I know myself. And because I do, I can know you. The second part to this that's so powerful is, because I know myself, I also give you permission to be you. Hardest shit in the world to let your wife and children be who they are. And you'll fight them to be who they are if you're afraid of allowing yourself to be all of you. This is the reason people persecute, and why we persecute others more than anything is because they demonstrate a way of living that we are not giving ourselves permission to do. People look at me and say, oh, what a fucking cocksucker. Look at this guy. Who does he think he is? I'm like, I get it. And people used to tell me, you're such an asshole. And then I would get angry and defensive. And then one day I was sitting there, and what did I come to realize? I am an asshole. It was a very important day for me. It'd taken me many years to get there, and all of a sudden I woke up and I recognized, holy shit, I am an asshole. And people would be like, you're a shitty father. And I would get triggered. And I'd be like, fuck you. And I'd go fucking crazy. And I would like want to fuck them up, real like physically fuck them up. And then one day I recognized, yeah, I am a shitty father. And then I had this conversation with my wife. And she said, you're a shitty fucking husband. And I would get angry and yell, you don't understand the pressure I'm under. And rah, 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 rah. And then I had this awakening one day that I was a shitty husband. Will I ever stop being a shitty husband? Nope. Every week, a couple times, I slip into a really good role that I know well, which is the role of shitty husband. What does shitty husband look like? Make 0 deposits and then expect to get laid. Yell, scream, get irritated, get angry, take my stress from work out on my kids and my wife. How many know what I'm talking about? Raise your hands. So the problem is you think that that's going to end. It won't. What will happen is you'll become more conscious, which means the frequency of it will change, and your course correction from it will change. And you'll also, recognizing you're a shitty husband, will give your wife permission to be a shitty what? Shitty wife. Somehow we think you're a shitty wife without recognizing you're a shitty husband. Well, these kids are little shitheads. True. Every child on the planet is a shithead. They're all shitheads. No matter how cute they look, they have that moment where we're like, you little shithead. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And yet we act surprised when they act like shitheads. Well, that's weird because guess what we are? Shitheads. We're just bigger shitheads. And then we get upset at them when they act like shitheads, not recognizing we act like shitheads too. And most of the time when they act like shitheads, we act like a shithead to match their shithead. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. So this game of creating in business, which we're going to continue down today, is a game of power. If you want to deal with life, you have to expand the power. And sometimes that requires some fun exchanges and collisions in the network, and we get to fuck around and yell and scream in our phones and fuck you, Gus, and Gus is like, fuck you, and it's like, it's great. But inside Warrior, the coolest part is that we're in an environment where we're saying, listen, you can collide as much as you want as long as you're accountable. Which means if you point the finger here and like you're a fucking idiot, that's okay. As long as you recognize you're a fucking idiot too. You're a fucking idiot, Mike. And then I'm like, yeah, you are, and so am I. We might be fucking idiots in different things, but just because you're a fucking idiot doesn't excuse me to not be a fucking idiot, because I am. And this weird thing happens when we acknowledge it. We realize that neither one of us are fucking idiots. We're actually just men not fucked up who are figuring it out. We're just figuring it out. What are we figuring out? The next version of ourselves. Gentlemen, we're going to go to our warm-ups on this, but we're going to get a little two-clap on it. Here we go. Two-clap. Boom. Two-clap. Boom. Two-clap. Boom. Down to your warm-ups. Throw that back to me, brother. Thank you very much. Whoop. That's right in the head. I should have got you. I didn't even try. I didn't even try. I just let it just hit you just like this. You all right? Good? Now you're awake. That was your revelation. You must have been thinking something profound. The voice wanted you to hear it. Right in the head. All right, let's go. Danny Warmaps, you got 2 minutes. We are riding. What are you taking from this?
The miracle will happen. It might not happen the first time you open it. It might not happen the second time you open it. But I promise you this, at some point this will fucking click and your life will be unrecognizable.
I became a different man. I don't compromise. I don't negotiate. I have this clarity and certainty of where I'm going, and I don't negotiate with anyone.
You can't put a dollar figure on that. And this right here is all the work, all the effort of all the men that have come before me in the palm of your hands. It's an opportunity for you to change your own life and change the lives of those that are around you.
And even in the start, I started to change. There's been a lot of work. I've done a fuck ton of work. I devoured the content once I got it. I studied, I worked, I studied, I worked. I made it my priority because there was nothing I was going to do that was going to help the rest around me, to be, I didn't know how to be a better father. I didn't know how to be a better husband.
My relationship with my wife is on its peak. For that, I'm very grateful. My business has exploded, and that is because this concept of warrior is growing from the inside out.
And I just would say, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you take that chance? Why wouldn't you find enough value in yourself to make this decision, become part of a movement, a brotherhood? It's the best thing I've ever done.
It's too hard to do it by yourself. And I don't choose to do it by myself anymore, and now I don't have to.
The results came. I changed. I found my way out.
It wouldn't have mattered what that cost would have been, because I knew there was no price I could put on leveling up. There was no price I could put on my family and my kids and my wife and becoming a better version of myself. There's no price tag. There's no price.
And the best news is in the decision, the change begins. If you decide, your life has already changed in that one decision, in that 1 second.